She pointed at me like I was a criminal and yelled, "You can't build that fence. This property is under HOA control." I stood there, coffee in hand, calm but firm. "Ma'am," I said slowly, "this land isn't part of your HOA." Her name was Linda, neatly pressed blouse, clipboard ready, the kind who believed her word was law. Behind her, 2 HOA members stood with their phones out, smirking like they were about to film a victory. Linda stepped closer, her perfume mixed with arrogance. "Don't play smart with me. Every house on this street answers to the HOA. You're not special." I smiled slightly. "Actually, this property line ends right before my driveway. Your HOA maps are outdated." Her face froze for a second, then she snapped her fingers at a young man in a navy polo. "Call the cops. Let's settle this right now." I raised an eyebrow. "You're calling the police because I said I'm not under your HOA?" She folded her arms, pretending to look confident. "They'll make you understand the law." Minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled in, lights flashing. Linda stood tall, proud like a queen about to take her throne. "Officers," she said, "this man is refusing HOA orders and trespassing on community property." The lead officer stepped out, tall, calm, hand resting on his belt. He looked straight at me and smiled faintly. "Everything okay here, sir?" I nodded. "Yeah, just another HOA mix-up," Linda scoffed. "Mix-up? Arrest him. He's breaking HOA regulations." The officer turned his head slowly toward her. "Ma'am, I think there's something you don't know." Her grin faded. "And what's that supposed to mean?" He glanced at me. "This property, and the man standing on it, are under our security coverage." Linda blinked. "Your what?" The officer took off his sunglasses, revealing the badge of a private tactical security unit. "We're his security team." The silence hit like thunder. One of the HOA members lowered his phone. Linda's mouth opened, but no sound came out. I took a calm sip of coffee. "I told you I'm not under your HOA. In fact, looks like you're standing on my land." Her jaw tightened as the truth sank in. The officer stood still, watching her squirm in the silence she created. But that was only the beginning. "This is ridiculous," she shouted, her voice cracking. "You can't just bring in your own police." The officer raised an eyebrow. "We're not police, ma'am. We're private security hired to protect Mr. Carter's property." Her little team looked shaken. The young guy with the phone quietly slipped it into his pocket, pretending to check the time instead. But Linda wasn't finished. "You think this will scare me? You can't build whatever you want here. The HOA will issue fines and legal notices." "Legal notices for what?" I asked calmly. "This land isn't part of your community registry. You can check the county records." Her confidence cracked like glass. She hadn't expected me to know that. Still, she pushed on. "We'll see about that. The HOA board will hold an emergency meeting. You can't hide behind fake paperwork forever." I tilted my head. "Fake paperwork? You mean the same kind your team used last month to threaten my neighbor's family?" That hit her hard. The officers exchanged glances. They'd heard about that case. The HOA had tried to evict a veteran's family over a fence height issue. Linda's face flushed. "That has nothing to do with you." "Oh, it does," I said quietly. "Because I helped that veteran file his counterclaim." Her expression froze again. The officer smirked. "Ma'am, if I were you, I'd be careful what I say next." Instead of backing down, she doubled down. "Fine, I'll call the real police. We'll see who's right." She pulled out her phone, pacing as she barked into it. Her team followed nervously. The officer looked at me. "You sure you want to handle this here?" I shrugged. "Let her call whoever she wants. She's about to dig her own hole." Moments later, sirens echoed down the quiet street. Linda's smug smile returned. "Now we'll see how your little security team handles the law." I didn't say a word. I just nodded to my lead officer. "Get the folder ready." It's time she learned who she's dealing with. Because those real cops she just called, I trained them. 2 police cars pulled up, blue lights flashing across her face. Linda pointed at me immediately. "That's him. He's building illegally and threatening HOA property." The officers walked up calmly, already looking tired of her drama. One of them looked familiar. When he took off his hat, Linda's confidence faltered. "Captain Reynolds," she stammered. He gave her a cold look. "Ma'am, you reported trespassing and illegal construction. Can you show us proof?" She handed him a paper, her hand trembling. "This notice was issued by our HOA board. It's valid." Reynolds glanced at it, then laughed softly. "This isn't valid. It's a printed Word document, no county seal, no permit number, no legal basis. Linda looked to her team for help, but no one said a word. Reynolds turned to me. Mr. Carter, your security team already briefed you? Yes, sir, I replied. We've got the property deeds, maps, and drone footage showing exactly where their HOA line ends. He smirked. Good. Then I think this clears things up. Linda tried to interrupt. Wait, you can't just take his side. Reynolds raised a hand. Linda, I've known Carter for years. He used to work with our tactical response division. He trained half the department you just called. The silence that followed was golden. The HOA board froze. Linda's jaw dropped. I stepped forward. You really should have checked before calling the cops. Because today you didn't just call the police, you called my old unit. Reynolds turned toward her. And now you're trespassing on private property. You'll need to leave. Linda's face went pale. You can't arrest me. I was just doing my job. Reynolds sighed. Impersonating authority isn't your job. Let's go, ma'am. As they escorted her to her car, she shouted, This isn't over. I smiled faintly. It already is. The HOA members followed, whispering among themselves. My security team stayed silent, disciplined as ever. When the last car drove off, Reynolds looked at me with a grin. Still stirring up trouble, huh? I laughed. Didn't mean to. Just protecting what's mine. He nodded. You always did. That's why we trust you. I looked at the fence I built with my own hands. The sun was setting, casting warm light over the land I fought to keep. I didn't serve my country to be told I can't live free on my own land, I said softly. Reynolds smiled. Then I'd say, mission accomplished. As the patrol cars disappeared down the road, one thing was clear. Karen picked the wrong property this time. The end.